Hey everyone, this is Ryan, health fitness professional with the Cardinal Health site in Mansfield, Massachusetts. In today's video, we're going to be going over a few stretches you can do on your desk or, for my preference for today, the stool. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to be using a couple of different exercise equipment, such as the dumbbell, which is about 5 pounds here, and I'm going to be using a hand cloth. Now, while these pieces of equipment aren't exactly necessary for the exercises I have in mind for this video, they are nice to have to get that little extra stretch for almost all of the exercises I have for you today. So before we begin, make sure that you've had plenty of water prior to watching this video, as it will help you during these exercises. We'll get seated on the stool and we'll get started with our first exercise, working on the arms or the shoulders. Alright, so the first exercise we're going to be doing something for the rotator cuff. What I want to do is bring this towel around behind me, and I'm going to take my right arm and give it a little bit of a tug. Now, I'm feeling quite a bit of this in the front part of my left shoulder. For those of you who are lacking flexibility, using the towel is ideal for a stretch like this. We're only doing it for about 20 seconds or so. And we're just going to flip our hand over. Same thing with this arm. And that's how we're going to switch from one side to the other. Again, I'm feeling a lot of this in the front part of my shoulder, a little bit for the rotator cuff as well. It might feel a little bit awkward at first. Feel free to move this towel forward as well. If you find that to be more comfortable, you're still going to get a good stretch in for the shoulders. And about 20-25 seconds of that. You feel free to go a little bit longer if you want to on your own. As for now, we're going to move on to the next exercise. Next up, we'll be using the towel again. I'm going to bring it right over the arm and grab from behind. My bottom arm here is going to pull as much as it can, and that'll be a good stretch for the tricep. Just like that. A little yank, pulling the arm in just a little bit more. This is especially ideal for anyone who's not able to grab their arm from behind. I'll show you what I mean in just a second here. So as the 20 seconds go by, we'll switch to the other side. I'm actually going to drop the towel for this one. And for a little bit more of a stretch for both arms, you can lock fingers together. And again, the bottom arm is going to pull down just a little bit, really getting in a good stretch for the tricep over the head, just like that. And we're going to finish up in 3, 2, and 1. Release that nice and slowly. So do whichever works best for you, whether that's with the towel or not. And we're going to move on to the next workout. This next one, we won't need any special equipment. We're going to focus on stretching out our back, and we're going to do that with what I like to call bear hug. So wrapping one arm over the other, inchworming your fingers behind the shoulder as much as you can, chin to your chest, and I want you to round your back as much as possible. It won't be a whole lot for some of you. It won't be for me as well. Really depends on your flexibility already. You can probably move forward a little bit more like that. As you move forward, if you want to give it a little bit of a twist, you can move to one side like so. Really helps to get the lower back a good stretch as well. And we'll move to the other side. I'm only going to do about 5 seconds for each exercise here, or each stretch. We're going to hold this for about 10 more seconds. Focus on deep breathing as you round your back. And release those arms nice and slow. Straighten yourself up. It's one of my favorite ways to stretch out the back, especially when we're seated on a chair or stool like that. All right, let's move on to our final exercise. All right, this next one, we're going to focus on a different area for the rotator cuffs. And for this, I'm going to be using a 5-pound dumbbell. This is actually a lot of weight for this particular muscle group. So you might want to go a little bit lighter to 1 to 3 pounds, or perhaps even no weight at all. As you can see, I'm doing small leaning back motions with my arm. The weight itself is just going to give me that little extra for a nice stretch for this exercise. Let's switch to the other side. I'm going to give you a side view here. Small leaning back motions just like that, keeping my elbow at about shoulder height. if you'd like, you could use your desk or shelf or anything you have at home or in the office, and you can rest your elbow on that hard surface while you're doing these leaning back motions. Let's do one more real quick. And bring it forward. So again, very, very important that you start off very light. I'm used to something like this, so I can use the 5-pound weights if I'd like. You might want to start off with 1 to 3 pounds if it's your first time doing a stretch like that. So that's it for today's video. Thank you all for joining me. As usual, if you have any questions or comments on what we just went over, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or you can always email us at the Cardinal Health Fitness Center inbox. You can also find this on our webpage if you'd like to, so be sure to check that out, as well as other services we are providing for you, whether you're at home or if you're in the office with us. You can do that all on our website. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next workout.